John Brzenk versus Alexey Voevoda rematch. Finally, we are going to see this legendary but short rivalry come to an end. Many people are hoping that John Brzenk wins this match. He gets his revenge on Voevoda. But if we look at the polls, this situation doesn't seem to be so likely. This live stream is going to be about 30 minutes long, and we are basically going to discuss everything around this John versus Voevoda situation. How did this rivalry start, and what is happening right now? Silky Wilkie in the house, Silky Wilkie signing off. Clerks 93, thanks everyone for joining. 26 viewers have already joined. So the first time they met was in the Zloty Tour overalls, and it was in 2004, and Voevoda beat John Brzenk quite convincingly. That's not the outcome that the Pulling John documentary crew was hoping for. Very similar situation to Devon versus Levan. That was not the end to that match, end to that documentary that they were hoping for. But you cannot just reduce the level of the enemy, so to speak, in the case of a documentary, the villain. And in both cases, the villains reign supreme. Alexey Voevoda defeated John Brzenk the same way Levan Saginashvili defeated Devon Larratt. Since then, people have been saying, including John Brzenk, that maybe the result would be different in a rematch. And that match never happened. Alexey Voevoda stopped pulling a year after that. He arm wrestled till about 2005, and then he quit. He came back in 2007, defeated Monster Michael Todd, maybe competed in a tournament or two, but then vanished once again. And then after that, his return was against Tim Bresnan in 2016, and then he was vanished once again. He just could not be seen in any competition, any tournament at all. Then after that, Voevoda is returning once again. So very short career. I think nobody ever has made such a huge name in arm wrestling, by arm wrestling, as little as Alexey Voevoda. I think he started arm wrestling somewhere around 2000 and he quit in 2005. So a maximum of 5 years of arm wrestling, and Voevoda is this mythical creature in the world of arm wrestling, untouchable. Some people say that Voevoda is the peak that we have ever seen. People compare the 2004, 5 or 2007 version of Voevoda against Levan Saginashvili. They think even that is possible. So that's an interesting situation. This is yet to be discovered. If any of you guys know how Voevoda was able to create such a massive following with just 3-4 years of arm wrestling, please let me know, because I'm unaware of that fact, how Voevoda was able to pull that off. So that day, I don't think there was anything that John could have done. John said that he was probably in the worst shape of his life when he faced Voevoda, and he wasn't 100%. But no offense, this is the case of 100% of John's losses. Other than the Devon Larratt and Denis Siplankov match, these matches are obviously when John Brzenk is old. Before that, before 2020, I'm yet to find a match where John Brzenk lost and where he was 100%. It just simply never happens. There is always a story behind John's loss. So John said that he was in the worst shape of his career. He was thinking about quitting arm wrestling, and that's when he lost to Voevoda. So maybe in a rematch, he can do something against the Superman from Russia. Is that the case? Was that the case back then? We're not sure, because in 2007 as well, Voevoda seemed to be absolutely monstrous. And John is saying right now that he is in a better shape. Despite being 59 years old, he is in a better shape than what he was in 2004 when he was just 38 or 37, which is insane. But John said the same thing in the Denis Siplankov match as well. When John lost to Denis in 2009 in Zloty Tour overalls final, John said at that time that, not at that time, but before the Denis Siplankov match, that right now at 58 years of age, he is stronger than what he was when he faced Dennis in 2009. Well, of course, being stronger than that version, that 2009 version, didn't help John at all, and he lost the match 6 pins to 0. So are we going to see a similar situation this time as well? John self-admittedly is better than what he was and bigger and stronger than what he was in 2004. Not saying that he was bad around that whole period, but that particular time he was not so good. He wasn't feeling good. His shoulder issues were already there and he was thinking about quitting. He was continuing for that documentary thing. Bollywood Deep, GB19 has joined Primus, Clerks 93, KZ, Silky Wilkie. Thank you for everyone. No, he isn't. So what do you think? Let me create a poll before we discuss this match further. Is John stronger than 2004 when he lost to Voevoda? John says so, so it must be true. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts and opinion about this situation? That will be interesting to see. What if John wins isn't over for Alexey? That's the only case, guys. Some people are saying that this is the of the table card. We are not going to buy it. I agree. It is not good as good as some of the others, but this is once in a lifetime opportunity. Let's be honest. I'll be totally shocked if somebody watched John versus Voevoda back in 2004. Is there anyone? I don't think so. So we all 100%, not 100, but at least 99% of us are going to be watching these two pull on the arm wrestling table for the first time, and most likely if Voevoda wins, then for the last time as well. So we, all of us fans are getting only one opportunity in our lifetime to watch John versus Alexey pull live. I think that in itself is worth it. Voevoda's comeback is really good. It's really interesting, as Engin Terzi mentioned in his community post. Conjunctivitis. I read what that term, but I forgot what is it. John is too injured to be. 67% people believe that no, he isn't stronger than 2014. And he lost badly back then. So do you guys think that he's going to lose again? I know Voevoda is also not the 2004 version, but there is one situation. Let's talk about their physicalities. John is 6'1". Maybe at that time he was 6'1.5". He was a little bit taller back then. And Voevoda is almost 6'4". At that time, John was cutting to 95 kilos. So on match day, let's assume he was still less than 100 kilos, obviously. Let's assume he was 98. Voevoda at that time was over 120 kilos, maybe 121, 122, something like that. So the difference between them was about 25 kilos back then. And if we talk about it now, John is somewhere around 105 kilos and Voevoda is 111, 12. So the difference isn't that much. From 25 to almost about 5 kilos only, maybe 7, 8 kilos. That's the difference. So the weight is a big thing. Voevoda is also not the same Voevoda that he was in 2004. The same thing is for John as well, as we can see in this poll. That's what our audience believes. No, there is no eye infection, guys. Just protecting myself from these ring lights. I see ring lights after I switch them off. Like if I sit in front of them for a couple of hours, I'll be seeing ring lights probably 3-4 hours later as well whenever I close my eyes. And I don't think it's good for the eyes. Are you guys serious? 2004 was John's worst year. So Victory believes that John was weaker than what he's now, compared to what he's now. 2006 was prime. Okay, John is still strong as an ox, but COVID infection twice has taken a toll on his overall endurance. Prime Voevoda versus Devon now. So if Voevoda beats John, then maybe that is the match to make. 115 kg class is already empty. I think some of you guys may have read the post that I made, the community post. and I don't see any competition in the 2000 in the 115 kg class anyways. So yeah, why not John versus Armwrestling will be live. Devon versus Georgi, not live, will be premiered on 16th of September. Vaccines worked. These lights hurt my eyes also, Pradeep. Maybe do something about it. How do they hurt your eyes, bro? How do they hurt your eyes? So the big question is this match happening too late? Because John waited for this rematch. It's one match that he wanted, but he never got it. He never got this match. Finally, he's getting this match. It's not going to be easy for John. Everyone knows that. And I personally don't like seeing John lose too much. That's not something that I like to see. Hope that solves the flickering issue. So when I made that video about John Brzenk taking some easy matches, I thought that there are two best situations for John. Although John is the GOAT, he's worked so hard that he's that only guy that I talked about this. There is only one guy in every single sport who can lose as many matches as he likes towards his retirement, and still his reputation, his career won't be tarnished at all. There is only one guy. The second guy in any sport cannot do that. They have to retire on top if they still want to be respected equally. But that's not the case for John. He's the god of the sport, so his legacy will not be tarnished at all, no matter how many matches he loses. But still, I would love to see, the best case scenario in my opinion is that John should get some easy matches that he can win, that he's where he's the favorite to win. And I said the second best situation for me will be John just retires and he stops taking these losses at all. I don't want to see him lose 5 out of 6 matches or 6 out of 7 matches, which soon can be the case. Because if, let's say, if John versus Ongarbayev also happens in the future, then I think that match is also going away from John. It's going to be really, really difficult for John. I don't think he's going to be able to win that match. And this Voevoda match is also really, really difficult for John. I got a $5 super chat from, let's see who's the legend, DIL87. Thank you, sir. No version of Brzenk would have beaten Alexey that day. Alexey trained like an animal and incredibly strong at that time. He took John's hand pretty easy. Yeah, actually he curled John in. He didn't top roll John. If you watch that match carefully, John was trying to take Alexey's hand and he soon realized that it's impossible. He not even like moving forward to set the hook. Alexey just curled John's back pressure and pronation in, like there was a huge difference that day between these two. And I do agree, I don't think any version of John would have beaten Alexey that day. Like maybe in a hook. So there is a possibility if John went for the hook and he tried to battle it out there, then maybe he could have done something. But top rolling wasn't an option. John himself admitted that for him it is like almost impossible to top roll Alexey. So he's going to try to beat him in a hook. So that's what happened that day. John went for the top roll and quickly realized that Alexey's cupping is on another level, and then he was caught off guard. Once you try to top roll someone and you get forced in a hook, you don't have that much hook power. Although John did beat Corey the same way. He tried to top roll Corey West, got curled in, but he still beat Corey in a hook as well. But that was not enough against Alexey Voevoda. So maybe if peak John went straight away in a hook against Alexey, then maybe he could have done something. But it is still really, really difficult. Really difficult to believe. He's sitting next to you. Who is sitting next to me? Fastest 37. I would like to see Voevoda compete more rather than a straight jump to Lariat. Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. I do agree with you, brother. No version of John is hooking Voevoda. Voevoda likes to go in a hook. I don't think he's going to top roll you. Like he stays in that kind of a high hook position, but I very rarely see him trying to top roll people. He likes to arm wrestle in inside. When the Dikian tries to top roll Voevoda, he cannot. The Dikian can give good fight, maybe even beat him in a hook, but trying to top roll Voevoda is extremely difficult even for David the Dikian. This webcam is doing this flickering thing, maybe दूसरा webcam ले एक बार ऐसे भी ठीक करे आवाज कर रही है. Dennis in a hook versus Devon in a hook. Who got this? In a hook, I think Dennis will win. I think Dennis will have more endurance than Devon in a hook. Peak John was in 2006. He was a monster. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. So, do you guys agree? Is this the last opportunity that John is going to get to avenge his loss against Voevoda? Or do you think he's going to get another rematch if the match is close? So, the same thing that I talked about before the Denis Siplenkov match as well. Most likely that was the last time we are seeing Denis and John compete on the table. That's the same situation. If you believe that Voevoda is going to beat John, then you also believe that that's the last time these two legends are arm wrestling against each other.
Video settings C90. Let's see if the flickering is solid in this camera or not. I think it's solid. John will make a good fight. So let's talk about their strengths. John's strength is everywhere, or at least I should say it used to be everywhere. Right now, not so much in the cupping department. And with just top roll, it may not be possible to beat everyone. It can get difficult for John. Right now, he seems to have completely lost that cupping ability. I mean, like John literally cannot force anything in a hook these days. He always goes for the top roll. Maybe it's because of the elbow issues, maybe because of the thumb issues, maybe because of shoulder. Yeah, my quality. I think it should be good now.
Yeah. So whatever the issue is, but right now it seems to me that John cannot force anyone in a hook. If somebody is trying to go in a hook against John, then John can beat them there. John can still beat people in a hook, but I don't think he can force anyone in a hook. So the match is going in a hook if Voevoda wants it to go there. Use the mic that comes from the camera room. Yeah, I think I've changed it now. Microphone JBL, speaker JBL. Yeah, it should be good. Fine. Yeah. So that seems to be the issue as of now. The match will be taking place where Voevoda wants it to take place. John is not going to be the one to dictate this. And when you're arm wrestling against a guy who's 15 years younger than you, who's bigger than you, who's stronger than you, and you have to arm wrestle him in his power, where he wants you to arm wrestle, that's a bad day, man. That's a bad day. When the when the comeback of Voevoda was announced, when Engin was talking about this match, at that time I thought that, man, John is going to destroy Voevoda. It's not close. It's not close. But then I heard Engin Terzi announce this match that it is going to happen at East versus West 9, I think he said. At East versus West 9 at 115 kilos. And I was like, wait a minute. Voevoda just showed us that his weight is around 110 kilos, 111 kilos. And he wants the match to be at 115. Why can't he cut just 5 kilos of water weight? I realized that, yeah, Voevoda is not confident. He's not confident. He wants a higher weight cap against John. And what's up with this thing, man? I just don't get it. Why does John arm wrestle these people without a weight cap? Like, when people mentioned that, yeah, Devon should have had a weight cap against John, Dennis should have had a weight cap against John, and John is immediately like repulsive to these ideas. No, I want my opponent to be as strong as he possibly can. I'm like, really? Even if that results in you losing the match, because John at this point simply doesn't care about winning or losing. The fans probably care more about John winning or losing. And the thing that I talked about in the video when people said Pradeep wants John to quit, people like to hear selective things. I clearly said that my first priority, I want John to take easy matches and I want John to win. So take easy matches, win. And the third thing I said is probably quit. And the fourth thing I said is keep taking these difficult matches, and he should keep losing all the matches like he's doing right now. But people only heard the third part where I said that John should quit. And John also didn't like that. John, I got some inside info from the people who talk with John. He didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. That I said that John should quit. I was like, did I really? I said a couple of things before that as well. I said John should win. I said John should take some easy matches. Yeah, John should drop weight category. No, his opponents should cut weight, because Brzenk doesn't care if he wins or loses anymore. I do agree, brother. I 100% agree. John gets paid either way. And he was a genetic freak. He was not only blessed with the genetics of his strength, he was blessed with the genetics of his mind as well. John is a very smart arm wrestler. I'm not using the word was. He is a very smart person. You can just talk. When I interviewed him, when I saw him on his YouTube page, like, he's a smart person. This YouTube thing, live thing, is not easy to figure out. He figured it out like within minutes. So he's a smart person, and it worked for him if he never took arm wrestling that seriously, if he never took training that seriously. But right now he's 59 years old, and if he doesn't take training seriously, which clearly I don't think, I'm not sure if any one of you think that John is taking training that seriously or not, at least not as good as Voevoda. So what made me believe that now Voevoda is the favorite instead of John? Because in the beginning I was thinking about John being the favorite. Why? First of all, I thought that this match should happen at 105 kilos. Voevoda was about 110-12, as we just discussed. There is absolutely no way that he cannot cut to 105 kilos. Even at King of the Table, just because King of the Table doesn't have any weight categories, I don't think they should always have matches that are under no weight categories. I think they could have easily asked Voevoda to cut to 105 kilos, so that he will still be bigger than John, but at least he cannot get so massive that it is getting difficult for John. I don't think he's doing that in this case. Maybe he's around 115, but still 115 and 105 makes some difference. Pradeep, do you have a bigger ego now than 2 years ago? Yeah, maybe. But it's good to have an ego. It's good. I like ego. If John signs a contract with Engin, he should continue. If he doesn't sign, Engin will say he should retire. Defense Foster. Cool comment. Cool comment. Yeah, Engin said that about Dave Chaffee. Engin said that about Dave Chaffee, that he should probably retire for 1 year and then come back healthy. In your opinion, which is the most important thing, cupping, rising, pronation? I don't know, brother. I am not that experienced to give these advice, but I can guess. There is no harm in guessing. My guess would be cupping and rising, pronation. Pronation, I've seen people lose this like this multiple times. Cupping, yeah, difficult to beat. If you're like this, you're difficult to beat. But in a hook, people get beat also. Rising, yeah. If they have this, it's difficult. They may still get forced in a hook and then lose, but any other option doesn't seem that easy. So I'll say yes, maybe rising or maybe cupping. Pronation will come after these, in my opinion. Opinion on Dennis' answer on sacrifice. Actually, I did talk about this in the video, but yeah, it was a cool answer. Dennis said that everybody is sacrificing. He's also sacrificing just like all others at the top elite professional level. That's what Dennis said, and I do agree. Yeah. Devon is also probably sacrificing a lot, trying to become number one in the world. So it's not different. It's nothing different at the top level. Pradeep, do you believe that Dennis will just prepare 85%? No, I've just recorded a video about that. Jayesh Yadav. Let's see if my brother has seen that or not. Yeah, he has seen the video, so he'll be editing it now, and probably in about an hour or so, 1.5 hours, that video will be uploaded. So please, if you haven't subscribed and clicked the bell icon, please do it right now. It will be an interesting video. I think it's a lie. The title will be Denis Siplenkov is lying. USS Liberty, never forget. Thanks for the 420 super chat, brother. 420. 420 is a Indian, like, Indian penal code 420, and it's about, like, what do we call it in English, like IPC, like for forgery or something, like something weird, like when you try to I think I'm going to cancel my Arm Wars membership. Why, brother? Why? You can cancel it. If you just bought it, you can cancel it. You're still going to keep it until September 16th. So you can easily cancel it. But they do provide lots and lots of content on members only section. Speaking of members only section, this live stream is about to end in 5-6 minutes from now, and after that we will immediately switch over to the members only live stream. Thanks for the super chat, brother. Thanks. I'm following you for almost 2 years. Jayesh Yadav, भाई बता 420 का चेक करके बता क्या होता है. धारा 420. Devon has aged 20 years in these last 3 years. Hashtag sacrifice. Clerks 93. What are the other matches at King of the Table? Ron Bath versus Matt Mask is one match. Not Pablo. Chan Shaw versus, how can I forget? Chan Shaw versus who, man? Let me check the photo that they uploaded. It shows that I've not paid enough attention about the matches. So Matt Mask, Ron Bath, John Brzenk, Alexey Voevoda, and Lars Rohrbachen versus Matej Heta Morris, Chan Shaw versus Sergey Kalinichenko, Krasimir Kostadinov versus Lachlan Adair. These are the 5 matches, and Matt Rhodes Sports said that they've listened to the fan feedback, and from now on there are always going to be at least 5 matches at every single King of the Table event. Chacha Vidayak hai hamare. Kalinichenko and Shaw also there. 420 is the weed number, Pradeep. He's almost 50. Looks great for his age. Devon, okay. John still wants to test himself. I have nothing against him pulling super heavyweights if he is open. Yeah, if that match. So Denis Siplenkov, of course, everyone knows that Denis Siplenkov cannot cut down to 105 kilos. But they still could have asked him to, let's say, stay below. Bro, we are going to weigh you on match day. You cannot be over 120. No weigh-ins 24 hours before the match. Right on the match day, you should be under 120. And Voevoda, 105 kg weight cap. Why not? I think these things only make sense, and John should be more strict about that. How do you know that it will expire on 16th? As I said, I'm not sure when USS Liberty bought the membership. If he bought the membership after, let's say, 17th of the previous month, then he can cancel it. Even his voice changed. So I've already done a poll about this, John versus Voevoda, and we already know what is the opinion of the audience. 70% people think that Voevoda is going to win this match. So number one, Voevoda is younger, his cupping is stronger, and John cannot top roll him. Right now his cupping seems to have completely gone. He's always in this position and never in this controlling position that he always was. That was one reason of John's dominance throughout his career. Right now he seems to have lost it. He may still be top 5 in the world in his weight category, but I don't think that is going to be enough to beat a 115 kg Alexey Voevoda. That's why that match is going to be extremely difficult for John Brzenk to pull it off. So in my opinion, that match goes in a hook. I still don't think that it is going to be easy fast wins for Voevoda. Voevoda's endurance is not as good as Denis Siplenkov's or John Brzenk's. Voevoda himself or Devon Led's. Voevoda himself said that his endurance isn't that great. About 3 months ago, he said that he needs to work on his endurance. So maybe that is something that John can work on. He can find something out from there. Nobody hosts elite tournaments, which they would. Neil hasn't released the left matches with Devon. Yeah, if you cancel even now, then your membership is going to stay for 1 month from whichever date you bought the membership. So endurance can be equal. Maybe Voevoda still has a better endurance than John, but it won't be too much of an issue for John. Voevoda's cupping, his strength, his power, his explosivity is going to be an issue for John for sure. And that day, I hope John Brzenk wins this match. And if he wins this match, then Defense Foster has been a member for 5 months. Thanks, brother. Best arm wrestling membership. No pressure, Pradeep. Thank you. So as soon as this thing ends, we will switch to the members only live. And so I was talking about what? John? Man, how can I forget? Alexey Voevoda entrance music. Ruslana Kish Kish Kish. I've not heard that music. In your opinion, who would win in hook, Devon or Denis? I think I already answered that. I think Denis Siplenkov would beat Devon in a hook. Like, nobody's really going in a hook against Denis. No one. Like, everyone is running away from his hook. Everyone is trying to top roll that guy. What happened to my membership? Maybe you didn't renew it. I don't know, brother. Imagine if Engin did tournament with top 15. It would be amazing. But it wouldn't give Engin the pay-per-view buys. And the top arm wrestlers today will not compete without guaranteed money anywhere. So that's the problem in conducting these tournaments. And the prize money is like over $10,000 for like at least 10 people right now in the world of arm wrestling. So that tournament would be difficult to pull off, really difficult. So in my opinion, Alexey Voevoda wins, but the matches are close, the rounds are close. John holds Voevoda for a very long time in a hook. And if we just even look at Voevoda's lifts, Voevoda doesn't have that much experience in arm wrestling. Yes, he was the legend once back then. But if you have arm wrestled one match in like 16 years, how are you supposed to have arm wrestling experience? I don't think it works like that. He was good for a couple of years, 15 years ago. Yeah, Sergino is just mentioning that fact. He didn't hang around. If he wasn't for Pulling John, we would not have been talking about him. Yeah, Pulling John made Voevoda this untouchable legend. I don't think he has that much experience on the table, but the biggest thing that is going to work in his favor is his training team. I mean, Denis Siplenkov, Artem Morozov, David Tadikian. He trained with them for what, like 7-8 times, 10 times, while John Brzenk is working with beer drinking guys that nobody knows. I know though that team made John the world champion. He trained with them only, but I don't think it is going to work for him right now. John went in a hook with Denis. Why he didn't hook? Wonder why he didn't hook Todd Hutchings. Yeah, like John literally cannot set the hook against anyone. John did like this against the same thing against Ongarbayev as well. And when John tries the hook, everyone else is like, they're already sitting here. And then they just look at John and just, not even a press, just slightly push John's hand down. So John doesn't have the ability to force the hook. He cannot force the hook on anyone. He can arm wrestle with them in a hook. He can give them a war. Like he beat Corey West in a hook. That was impressive as hell. But not force the hook. I don't think he needs to force the hook on Voevoda. Voevoda will be going in that high hook kind of position. I'm not sure if John can pull that off. I hope he does. I hope he does, man. That would be really interesting to see. So if John wins, then give him Ongarbayev next. If John loses, in my opinion, give him Bacho Saginashvili. If you think Bacho is nothing in front of John, then give him Reno Masic. Give him matches like that, and I would love to see them. Voevoda, if Voevoda loses, is he even going to continue or quit like after the Tim Bresnan loss? If he continues, then I'm not sure. Then give him Bacho Saginashvili. Who knows? Or if Voevoda wins, then against Evgeny Prudnik, Ongarbayev, Devon Larratt. So there can be many matches. If Voevoda wins this match, there are probably a dozen matches ready for Alexey in the future. Thanks for watching. Like the video and let's meet in the members only live stream. Or maybe we can talk about this for 30 seconds more till I figure out the members only live stream there. Or let's just end this. Thank you guys. Pradeep, who do you think wins Muratov versus Matyushenko? That's interesting, man. That's interesting. Muratov is a beast, but Matyushenko, the way he beat David Arabuli, man, he's strong. He's really strong. I'll still go with Alijan Muratov because he's been more active and we know more about him. Thank you guys. We'll see you again. You look in full form, Pradeep. Wow, nice work. But thank you, brother. I'm really grateful the live stream did not crash. The internet did not crash. I have full preparation, but still somehow the Wi-Fi just goes off. Really unlucky.